In the last episode, I talked about finding some old strings of keys in the yard. And so I'm going to put up the photos of how I left them. After I discovered the keys in the shed, I set them in a specific way and took a photo of it so that I could see if anything had ever bothered them. And that was in October 1st of 2022 was when I did that. On June 7th, I went down to check on them, just on a feeling. And I also took photos of how they are now, and something had messed with them, as you will see. So I'm going to switch back and forth here a couple of times so that you can see the difference. And then also, it's good to take pictures of things because in my memory, back when this happened and I noticed the keys showing up, I did not recall that there were keys on the ground. And I'll give you the photo of that I took when I went down there and found the keys. And they were in fact dumped out on the ground. They were dumped out on the ground, but not inside the storage tub. So I'll give you that photo and the picture looking out of the shed as well. Now, another interesting thing that happened last September, we had a brush pile down the lane just west of the house a little bit. And we had burned it once and piled up a bunch of more tree limbs and things that we were probably going to burn again. And September 30th, I went down to take a look about setting it off, setting it alight for a second time. And I walked around the pile just to see what was and wasn't burned up, and I noticed that something had set some random pieces of trash on an oil drum lid on the south side of this pile of brush, kind of secluded, that would not have happened on its own. It's kind of like the dead turtle would not get in the lane unless somebody put it there. These random broken pieces of pottery would not have ended up on this trash can lid unless something put them on there. Now, I don't know of crows doing this under the edge of a brush pile where it would have been shady and secluded, or even raccoons doing that. So I've not encountered that before, but I'm putting the picture up with this audio, 2 pictures of this. So here you go. Okay, next I want to talk about the little sapling that broke on the gravel road east of the property here. So I've got a picture up of the sapling. It's a little maple sapling that broke off. It's broken parallel with the road, straight south. The roads run north and south at that point. And it's broken right at the edge of the part of that little tract. It's a triangular tract between the gravel road and the blacktop road. It's broken right along the edge where I mow. And it's pointed right at a row of redbud trees that are mature. They're 10, 12 years old, I guess. And none of them had any broken limbs, no significant limbs down or anything like that. They shed a little bit all the time, of course, if you know those redbud trees. So I'll put up a couple pictures of that sapling break. And when it went over hard enough to stretch and pop some chicken wire that was wrapped around the tree to keep deer from cleaning their antlers on it. It's a suspicious little break, but who knows if it's significant or not. I show you what I found. Now, lastly, I wanted to show you the photos of the raccoon carcass with the hide turned inside out. First photo up is the first one that I found. I had mowed the night before, and the next day I came down and found this little guy under a small mulberry tree around a bunch of mulberry trees down by the pole sheds, not very far from where the keys are, like within 100 feet of where those keys, the Folgers can of keys, was located. And if you look at the photo, first of all, I thought it was a possum because I saw all this light-colored, stuff, and that's the inside of the skin. It's a raccoon, after all. And at the top of the carcass, you are looking at the roof of the mouth from below. Everything has gone off the lower jaw. All has been eaten off of the carcass itself. And there are some green bottle flies on the skin. You'll see them. And then the guts are all in a single pile right above the carcass. And it is the same sort of thing that Illinois Sasquatch Unacknowledged and Unknown is the other name of that YouTube channel, like they found on their deer carcass. So I'll put this one up first, and then 5 days later I found the second one. I mowed again, and the next morning on the mowed ground, just within 200 or 300 feet of where I found this one, I found the second one. And it was done just a little differently. Now, on the second one, the difference is, whereas the first one the skin was still attached at the nose and the paws, this one, the front paws had been pulled off. I think that may be what you're seeing there in the picture on the left. And the head had been pulled off the neck and used as a handle to shove all of the hide off the back end of the raccoon. And the hide is still attached at the tail and the hind feet. And again, the guts are in a pile next to the carcass right there. Oh, and on the first one, the first day I did not collect it, and the second day I thought about collecting it, and I went down to collect it, and it was gone. This one was further down to the south from the first carcass. I decided it would be rude to collect it, and so instead of picking it up and putting it in a bag and putting it in the freezer, since I know we have plenty of DNA on these things, I tossed it off in the brush. And this year, about 2 days before I found the turtle, as I noticed that mulberries were coming out on the trees, I basically told the woodline, hey, if you do another raccoon, I'd love to see another carcass. So I have told them that, silly as that may sound, but 2 days later, I was presented with this box turtle shell. So I'm just showing you what I found. I'm presuming that there's something going on here because it all seems rather odd. But along with all of these rather mundane things, except these raccoon carcasses are extremely unusual, there are also the feats of superhuman strength, of breaking trees over and things like that. Where we have 2 trees broken at a time, I haven't seen that in time to photograph that for you, but it all becomes rather overwhelming, especially in light of all of the eyewitness accounts that are coming out on thefactsbyhowtohunt.com. So just wanted to share these photos with you so you could make some sense of what I was talking about in previous episodes. So anyway, I guess that's it for this little episode. I'll leave you with a painting of the Red River Rescue that I did a long time ago. And thanks for being here, and I hope I have something more of interest for you next time. Take care, everybody. See you then. Bye.